Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. In this video, I want to show you my honest review, and I hope I will be able to highlight all the pros and cons of this product. So let's begin.
Honey, come quick! Someone's been creeping around our backyard! Adrenaline pumping, Matt rushed to his wife, hoping to spot the criminal. They watched the camera footage on their computer. The footage showed a man in his 50s with receding hair and a bald spot that reflected the moonlight. But as he looked closer, his fear turned to embarrassment. "That's me," he admitted. "I was walking around the garden last night." His wife scrunched her brow in confusion. "But you don't look like—" She trailed off. He noticed her look up at his hair and realize it really was him. Then she gave him a confidence-shattering look of judgment and disappointment. But the more he thought about it, the more he thought maybe he should have expected her disappointment. He'd lost so much hair since they got married 30 years ago. Matt had already noticed that the guys at work didn't respect him quite as much anymore, and that when meeting new people, they always glanced at his hair and treated him like an old man. Now he realized that his wife had been seeing him with rose-colored glasses. She had managed to ignore how much hair he'd lost and how different he looked. But the confusion about the so-called trespasser on the trail cam, that shattered the illusion. Matt aged 20 years in his wife's eyes that day, and he knew he had to do something. Because the foam shampoo hadn't worked for him. Surgery wasn't an option. No way was he paying a surgeon $10,000 to pluck hairs from his legs and plant them on his head. And he wasn't interested in chemical prescriptions with side effects and patchy results. The only defense he had left against hair coming out on his comb or clogging up his shower drain was to hide under a baseball cap. And that wasn't enough anymore. His own wife didn't recognize him. He wasn't sure he recognized himself. That's where Matt stood when I first met him. My name is Dr. Ryan Shelton. I've devoted my professional life to connecting people like Matt to health solutions found in nature and backed by real research. And the good news for Matt was that embarrassing moment would lead him to newly published Harvard research that reveals only one hormone triggers hair loss. So that means if you can flush that hair loss hormone, you can rescue your thinning or receding hair. It starts by recognizing that you're not losing hair because of so-called genetics. In fact, genetic hair loss can be overcome. Because when doctors say someone has genetic hair loss, they don't mean that losing hair is unavoidable. What they mean is your genetic code produces too much of the hair loss hormone. So if you can flush this hormone, genetics don't matter. And that means it doesn't matter how old you are or how much hair you've lost. At the end of the day, it always comes down to this. Flush the hair loss hormone to protect your remaining hair and restore hair you thought was long gone. This simple fact has been tested and proven by the leading researchers in hair growth science. I'm talking about doctors from Harvard Medical School, Albany College of Pharmacy, and the leading pharmacy research centers in both India and Thailand. To see the effects, just look to Hollywood's leading men. Celebrities like Matthew McConaughey, Jude Law, and Hugh Laurie have all confessed to using this hormone-flushing secret to restore their Hollywood hairlines. But a secret like that couldn't stay hidden forever. Today, an all-natural version has leaked to the general public. Doctors are calling it the razor grass remedy. This common plant has been proven to flush your hair loss hormone. New research suggests that it's part of the hidden truth behind why men and women from the Seminole Indian tribe almost never go bald. It overrides the genes that make you bald early. And new reporting shows that people are poaching this plant from public land to sell it to pharmaceutical companies. The pharma CEOs are trying their best to snatch it up, then blend it with synthetic chemicals to produce expensive hair loss drugs. But don't worry about the pharma companies, because in the next few minutes I'll show you how to grab this razor grass remedy for yourself, right from under the noses of the hoarding billionaires. Maybe even how to spot it in your own backyard, depending on what state you live in. Plus, I'll help you avoid the 3 worst mistakes that make your hair loss spread like wildfire. Just stopping these mistakes slows down hair loss for most people. I'll also expose a medical procedure from the 1800s that made men immune to hair loss. Warning, this is a cruel surgery that's no longer performed. But modern scientists have found that this razor grass remedy has a similar hair fortifying effect. And finally, you'll see how simple, quick, and pain-free it can be for you to finally flush your body of the hair loss hormone and feel confident and capable again. In fact, since this hair growth discovery has been leaked, over 21,300 men and women across the country have used it. Helen, age 58 from Australia, emailed me to say, "I was concerned when I started losing hair 4 to 5 years ago. Today, my hair growth has improved vastly. My friends say I have beautiful hair, and I was surprised when a stranger walked up to me last week and said I had gorgeous hair. Thank you immensely for this. I am so confident and self-assured now because of my hair." And Dr. James W., age 78 from Florida, said, "I went through a divorce and I lost a whole lot of hair during that time. I listened to this little presentation and so I thought, I'll give this a try. I've tried everything else. I will say in the last 60 days I've had more hair growth. I'm getting a lot more hair. It is producing a significant amount. I let my hair go natural. And my wife? Now she calls me her silver fox." In fact, after my friend Matt saw himself on his trail cams, he used this discovery for himself. And his experience was a little different from most, specifically in how it impacted his relationship with his wife. You'll hear from him in a moment. And don't be surprised if his story feels like your own. See, the harsh truth is, a survey performed by Johns Hopkins School of Medicine revealed when most people see your hair loss, they judge you. People assume you're 5 to 10 years older. They assume it's more likely you have health problems. They think you work a forgettable job and that you're poor. Women are 30% less likely to find a balding man attractive, and men are 80% less likely to find a balding woman attractive. Those stats bleed over into all aspects of life. If someone thinks you're old, sickly, and ugly, they're less friendly to you, less likely to take you seriously or value your opinion, and certainly less likely to hire you or give you a raise. And let's not even get into how hair loss saps your self-esteem. With your confidence damaged, you smile less. You feel more stressed, take fewer risks, go out less, and generally don't try as hard at life. You stop believing in yourself. It's a quick plummet to your life falling apart in your hands. So why not do something about it? Why don't people like Matt or Helen use that foam shampoo or even get hair replacement surgery? Well, for starters, one study found that the foam shampoo works for less than 25% of people. And even if it helps slow down their hair loss, it does nothing to regrow what's already gone. Now maybe you're saying, that's still worth it. Well, the side effects aren't. It can turn your face or scalp bright red. For many people, it itches like hell, sometimes even causing a rash. It can give you migraines, and sometimes dangerous chest pain. Plus, it even causes weight gain. Packing on an extra 10 pounds will make you feel as bad as thinning hair. But here's the part I find horrifying. That foam shampoo can actually cause more hair loss the first 6 to 10 weeks. It's a warm-up period before it kicks in. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to look even older for 2 months. And what if you end up being part of the 75% of people who the foam shampoo doesn't work for? That might be why surveys found that nearly 70% of men who try the foam shampoos are unhappy with it. Probably because they spent 2 months losing even more hair. And for what? Nothing. Well, not nothing. It actually will cost you about $60 per month. And you can never stop paying that $60 per month, or else your hair loss will kick right back into gear. So let's do some math. If you're around 50, let's say you'll be here another 40 years. You'll spend $28,800 just on that foam shampoo. Okay, so what about hair replacement surgery? That can't cost you much more, can it? You and I both know that healthcare costs are only going up. Insurance calls hair transplant surgery cosmetic, so you'll be on the hook for the whole cost, which is around $10,000. Even if you're blessed enough that you can afford it, as a doctor, I can't recommend it. First of all, hair replacement surgery is incredibly painful, so you can forget keeping your surgery a secret. People will see the new hair. They'll see how red and irritated your scalp is. They'll see you wincing every time the air conditioning unit cuts on and blows on you, and they'll put 2 and 2 together. If everyone knows you had hair transplant surgery, they'll think you're a vain old fart. You'll lose respect. It's not fair. It's not right. But that's what they'll see. Because let's be honest, that surgery rarely looks good. I mean, just look at this. When you look in the mirror and miss how your hair used to look, is this what you're longing for? Plus, it'll look even worse when your hairline keeps receding back past the hair transplant. That's right, your hair can keep right on thinning and receding, leaving you with an awkward patch of hair that looks like sparse tufts of grass. So I really recommend skipping the hair plugs, and instead using this natural secret to flush your hair loss hormone. Because I haven't even gotten to the scariest part of hair loss yet. We've been talking about how hair loss makes you look, how it damages your confidence, how it makes people see you. But you should know hair loss can be a warning sign of medical problems to come. It's linked to prostate concerns for men and heart issues for both men and women. Of course, it's not your hair falling out that causes these issues. Your hair loss is just a sign. Because the same underlying problem causes both these medical concerns and hair loss. So what's this underlying cause? Well, first, let's check whether you're making these two simple hair loss mistakes. Number setting stage. Soon you're missing several hairs, then dozens, then hundreds. And then you look in the mirror and your heart sinks as you notice how thin it's getting up there. A cruel story from history proves DHT's impact on hair growth. In the 1800s, the directors of boys' choirs wanted their star singers to keep their little boy voices. They didn't want them to go through puberty and have their voices change. Now, DHT is important when you're a teenager. It triggers a lot of puberty changes, including your voice dropping. It's not until you're older and DHT goes out of control that it causes hair loss. So this choir director forced his singers to undergo a surgery that snipped out the DHT gland completely. An awful, cruel thing to do. Well, years down the road, doctors noticed that all the boys who had this surgery kept thick, full heads of hair until they died of old age. Without their DHT gland, their hair never fell out. And these were hundreds of boys, each with a unique genetic makeup. And not one of them had thinning hair, even into old age. Now obviously, that surgery was barbaric, but it's more proof that DHT causes your thinning hair. Get rid of DHT, your hair doesn't thin. Now I should mention, if you've heard that genetics cause hair loss, that's partly right. There are a number of reasons DHT can get imbalanced in your body, and genetics are one of them. Some people's DNA just produces more DHT than others. That's why you might see a lot of baldness in a single family. Just look at Matthew McConaughey's father and both of his grandfathers. Hair loss runs deep in his family. So if his genetics trigger high levels of this hair loss hormone, why hasn't he gone bald? Well, according to People magazine, McConaughey takes what's called a DHT inhibitor. And he's not the only rich and powerful person using this. Donald Trump's personal doctor leaked that Trump takes one too. I know people poke fun at his hair, but they're usually laughing at how he styles it, or how honestly it's a little orange. But the fact is, for someone over 70 years old, he's got coverage and thickness that most 50-year-olds would kill for. And like McConaughey, Trump's DHT inhibitor has overcome his genetics. Look at all the men in Trump's family. That's how powerful a DHT inhibitor can be. It overcomes even the most unlucky hair loss genes. That's why Oscar winner Bradley Cooper says he uses one, along with Hugh Laurie, John Travolta, and even young buck Justin Bieber used it when he started losing his hair early. And that list is just the celebrities who've talked about it openly. For every one of them, there's a dozen more using it who keep it a secret. So what exactly is a DHT inhibitor? These are nutrients that reduce your levels of DHT before that DHT can hijack your follicles. DHT inhibitors switch back on your hair growth cycle. They match with the DHT in a way that makes this hair loss hormone think it's already delivered its message. So it dissolves away before it can send any messages to your follicles. Now that your follicles are no longer receiving messages not to regrow hair, they'll go back to the normal hair growth cycle. Grow, shed, regrow. But you don't have to be Hollywood wealthy to afford this. The most effective DHT inhibitor grows right out of the ground. If you live in the South, it could even be growing in your own backyard right now. Some researchers suggest that this hair-rescuing plant is part of the reason that the men and women of the Seminole Indian tribe almost never go bald. You've probably heard of the Seminole Indian tribe already. They're the mascot of Florida State University. And like many Native American tribes, their hair plays a big part in their culture. Both men and women wore their hair long and flowing, even into their old age. In the past, they believed any hair that fell out could be used in black magic against you, so they took extra care to protect it. It wasn't until the last century or so that people started to realize something shocking about the Seminoles, and about many Native American tribes. Their hair almost never thins. Long into their old age, their hair stays thick and full. Baldness is rare for the Seminoles. Scientists have tackled the issue, examining everything from climate to genetics. And while genetics certainly play a part, remember, genetics do determine how much DHT your body produces, some researchers believe that genetics alone cannot explain the elderly Seminoles' thick hair. And what they've discovered is something fascinating about their lifestyle. One of their natural remedies for urinary and reproductive health has the added effect of balancing DHT and protecting hair follicles. It's what I sometimes call razor grass. This razor grass remedy comes from a relative of palm trees called saw palmetto, and it's one of the most potent natural DHT inhibitors in the world. In 2002, a doctor named Nelson Prager decided to test it for himself. He organized a study of 26 men aged 23 to 64. He gave half of them an extract of saw palmetto, and he gave the other half a placebo, or sugar pill. After 4 months, Dr. Prager reported, patients who took saw palmetto extract were 600% more likely to restore thicker hair. The patients noticed bald spot shrinking, increased hair growth, and higher satisfaction with their hair. Dr. Prager later announced to the scientific community, these findings show a markedly positive response to treatment. Now that was a small study with only 26 patients, but it kicked off the health community's interest in saw palmetto as a solution to hair loss. Once the word was out, researchers were lining up to test it out for themselves. After all, hair loss impacts 85% of men and over 40% of women. But those researchers had greedy motives. Hair loss treatment is a $3.6 billion industry. The pharma companies wanted to turn saw palmetto into price-gouging drugs. To start out, they had to be absolutely positive that this natural ingredient was safe. Research published in the Journal of Urology and Complementary Therapies and Medicine gave saw palmetto extract to over 600 adults and found 0 harmful effects. Satisfied with the safety, they next wanted to understand scientifically why saw palmetto reversed hair loss. The industry funded scientists all over the world to evaluate how this plant rescues your hair. The Albany College of Pharmacy in New York summed up this research, revealing what I explained to you just a few moments ago, that saw palmetto is a DHT inhibitor. With less DHT in your system, your follicles continue the hair growth cycle of grow, shed, regrow, and you keep or regrow the hair on your head. You can imagine Big Pharma was practically drooling over their imagined new profits from this natural plant. So they launched a final series of studies, this time testing the DHT inhibitor saw palmetto on larger groups and measuring its results on hair growth. One study was performed at the University of Rome. They gave these DHT inhibitors to over 100 men and women. They repeated Dr. Prager's original results, only this time on 5 times the number of patients. For those with mild to moderate hair loss at the beginning of the study, about 75% improved their hair growth. Another 21% were able to stop losing hair. For those with more advanced hair loss at the beginning of the study, still about 62% improved their hair growth, and another 25% stopped losing hair. Meanwhile, doctors in Thailand performed a similar study. They applied saw palmetto extract directly to the scalp, and to make sure their results were precise, they counted individual hairs at the beginning and end of the trial. After 4 weeks, they found 74% more hair. That's the difference between this and this. The health community was thrilled. Finally, a natural way to balance your DHT and free your follicles to regrow your hair. A way to skip the expensive foam shampoo and pass on the painful surgeries, yet still reclaim the thick hair you used to have. A way to stop coworkers and your boss from seeing you as outdated and feeble. A way to stop strangers from seeing you as unattractive, untrustworthy, or not worth noticing. And a way to get your wife or husband to find you attractive again. And for your whole family to remember that you're still the person you've always been. Something so simple as thickening your hair and restoring your receding hairline really will make you feel as confident as you were 20 years ago. But remember, the pharmaceutical giants were the ones funding this research. They see a natural solution and look for ways to turn it into a chemical drug. And that's exactly what they're trying to do with saw palmetto. The good news is that they can't put a patent on a naturally occurring plant. They can't legally stop you from using saw palmetto yourself. The bad news is they can buy up all the supplies of this plant and pretend it's for research purposes. The pharmaceutical corporations offer such a high bounty for saw palmetto that it's creating an artificial shortage. There's only a few farms that grow saw palmetto, and they're getting rich right now from the pharma companies buying up all their crops. Now, it grows in the wild too, but that's causing another crisis.
They are sold and used for herbal supplements.
This is an empty lot, but you can see how many palmetto bushes there are. The problem neighbors say they're having is People will go onto their private property.
Law enforcement arrested more than a dozen people in Lee, Charlotte, and Collier counties in just the past 2 weeks for picking these.
FWC cracking down on agricultural crime.
Virtually everything has a price tag for it, whether it's legal or illegal.
The anti-genetics blend combines 3 natural ingredients: nettle leaf extract, pygeum bark extract, and L-methionine. Research shows that these ingredients directly stimulate new hair growth, reduce DHT no matter what's encoded in your genetics, and even increase the number of follicle cells on your scalp. Obviously, since each hair on your head grows out from a follicle, more follicles means more hair for your husband or wife to run their fingers through. Wouldn't that make you feel young and in love again? That's the goal of our anti-genetics blend, to help support and regrow your hair, no matter how much DHT your personal genetics try to produce. Alongside saw palmetto, they give you what you need to balance your DHT levels and restart your follicle's natural hair growth cycle, so you can get back the hair from 20 years ago that you were proud of. Now, I actually want to do you one better than just restarting your hair growth cycle. I want to kick it up a notch. Normally, your follicles spend about 83% of their time in the shed stage and only 17% of the time in the growth stage. Since your individual hairs live 2 to 4 years, 17% of that time spent regrowing is technically enough to keep your hair thick. But if you're watching this, I know you won't be satisfied with technically enough. You don't want to wait around while your follicles only grow hair for 4 hours each day. You want faster, more noticeable results. So we want to naturally shorten your follicle's shed stage and lengthen the growth stage. Let's spend less time losing hair and more time regrowing it. That's why I formulated blend number 2, the Regrowth Extender Blend. It includes 4 ingredients, each hand-selected because they've been scientifically tested and shown to shorten your follicle's shed stage and extend the growth stage. They are vitamin A palmitate, phytosterols, a compound from sunflower seeds, pantothenic acid, that's vitamin B5, and the mineral zinc. Now, I won't bore you with the details of studies from California, India, Korea, and Switzerland because they all found the same thing. Adding the ingredients of the Regrowth Extender Blend improved the hair follicle cycle. It spent less time in the shed stage and more time in the regrowth stage. Patients started out spending 83% of the time shedding. That's 20 hours per day losing their hair and only 4 hours regrowing it. After taking these ingredients, the average follicle now spent only 29% of their time in the shed stage. That's only 7 hours per day losing hair and 17 hours per day spent regrowing hair. Plus, when they counted the hairs at the beginning and end of treatment, researchers found ingredients in the Regrowth Extender Blend helped grow hair 184% more dense. 184% denser hair is the difference between this and this. Wouldn't that feel great to look in the mirror and see so much hair come back? What would you do? Who would you tell first? It'd be amazing to finally get that weight off your shoulders. That's why my patients are so excited about the HairRevitalX system. Not just the saw palmetto and anti-genetics blend, which instruct your hair follicles to start growing hair again, but also the Regrowth Extender Blend, which programs your hair follicles to spend 17 hours per day in the regrowth stage, so your hair comes back faster than you dared hope. Imagine replacing that sinking feeling in your stomach when you see more hair clogging the drain with the excitement and joy of noticing that you're seeing less and less of your scalp each day. That's how thick your hair is getting. I had almost finished formulating HairRevitalX when one more thing occurred to me. Some hair systems will help regrow hair, but then that hair is thin, gray, and dry. If your hair grows back stringy and unhealthy, then what's the point? Your confidence won't come back because you still won't love how you look. So I decided that HairRevitalX needed one more ingredient blend. I'm calling it blend number 3, the Healthy Hair Blend. It includes 4 ingredients that support healthy, shimmering hair: L-cysteine, vitamin B6, folic acid, and biotin. Studies show that these help keep hair cells nourished with water and oxygen, which results in stronger hair growth, less breaking, and less graying. With these 3 ingredient blends and powerful saw palmetto, the oral supplement half of the HairRevitalX system will help balance your DHT, lengthen your follicle's regrowth stage, and nourish your hair cells. The end result is fast, healthy hair growth. But remember, some of the medical studies we talked about applied saw palmetto extract directly to the scalp. Why was that? Well, think about if you had pain in your elbow. You'd take an oral painkiller. But if it was really bad, you'd also apply a topical solution, like Icy Hot, right? That's because you want to approach the pain from every angle. The oral painkiller gives your body the internal tools to solve the problem, and the topical solution directly targets the problem through your skin. It's the same with hair growth. That's why the HairRevitalX system includes a topical solution that you'll apply directly to your scalp. While the oral supplement is arming your body with the tools to lower DHT, extend your follicle's regrowth phase, and give you young, healthy hair, the topical supplement will be doing the same thing, only it'll be directly targeting the areas that need it. In fact, the topical supplement includes its own versions of the 3-ingredient blends. The anti-genetics blend to lower your DHT no matter your family history of hair loss. The regrowth extender to keep your follicles in the regrowth stage 3 times as long. And the healthy hair blend to keep your hair strong and vibrant. It's all the same tools as the oral supplement. But because these are being delivered from the outside, we need one more topical blend. You don't want to apply the HairRevitalX topical supplement and then have the ingredients just sit on the outside of your scalp. You need it to dive down inside and protect your follicles, which is why the topical supplement also includes the Deep Absorption Blend. These are 3 ingredients that have been scientifically shown to help other ingredients penetrate the skin barrier. Butylene glycol, an organic alcohol that comes from fruit sugar. Lecithin, which comes from egg yolks, sunflower seeds, or soybeans. And capsaicin, which comes from red peppers. That means some people feel a warm sensation. So when you apply the HairRevitalX topical supplement, if it feels like someone with delicate warm fingers is massaging your scalp, just know it's the capsaicin from red peppers, helping your follicles absorb the hair-rescuing ingredients. And there we had it. The HairRevitalX system was complete. The combined force of the oral and topical supplements could overpower genetics to support healthy DHT levels, fortify your follicles and their hair growth cycle, and give you back a head of hair that you'd be proud to show off. When I shared it with past Zenith Labs customers, we immediately saw great results.
Since I've been taking the product, I have noticed a lot of growth just in areas where it started to slow down and started to thin out, typically just right along the front as well as a little bit in the back. But I gotta say, using this product, I have noticed a big difference. I really like the product. I'm very impressed with the product. As a matter of fact, I've been already talking about this product to a lot of people that I know because it is really good. If you have thinning hair, the product is great. I can't say enough about it. Out of all the products that I've been fortunate enough to try out from Zenith Labs, this is by far the best one, and that is the truth.
In fact, we received a flurry of messages like this one. Philip Chen said, "I tried many hair products and nothing seemed to work. But then Dr. Ryan Shelton and his support team promptly answered my questions, and I saw that HairRevitalX was easy to take and use. Since taking it, I've noticed less hair on my comb." Teresa Johnston said, "I purchased HairRevitalX for my husband. One of the first things I noticed was some darker hair coming in, and his hair is thicker. He's definitely seen an increased number of hairs on his head. I am happy with the results and the journey thus far." Ruth Koralik, age 71, said, "My hair has always been fine and not enough to cover my scalp. I've always wanted more hair. I had my doubts, but I've been pleasantly surprised. My hair is now fuller. My scalp is covered. I am very happy. HairRevitalX is so easy to use and it works." When I saw how much HairRevitalX had helped people like Emil, Philip, and Ruth, I knew we had something special. The only problem was keeping the price down to something regular folks are comfortable with, and not just making yet another hair loss solution for the rich and powerful. After all, 85% of men suffer from hair loss at some point in their lives, along with 40% of women, and most think that the problem is genetic and there's nothing you can do about it. Or they think the only solution is $60 foam shampoo that rarely works, or $10,000 surgery that makes you look like a sickly chia pet. If more people knew that the real problem is imbalanced DHT hijacking your follicles, they'd know that the solution is easy. It's the same solution that the rich and powerful have tried to claim only for themselves. It's the same natural solution that the pharmaceutical giants are rushing to develop into a profit-generating drug, buying up the natural ingredients so fast it's making prices skyrocket. I had to get the word out that there was a natural, effective hair loss solution. So I worked with my team at Zenith Labs to make HairRevitalX available to the public. We set a goal to share this news with 1 million people. There are hundreds of millions of people suffering. But once 1 million people know the truth, then that truth will spread like wildfire. After all, nothing like this exists anywhere else. It's a unique formulation based on cutting-edge science, and no other natural treatment for hair loss has achieved anything like the dramatic results that I've seen in my patients. Of course, we had to decide on a price. Obviously, most people would be willing to pay an arm and a leg to rescue their hair and their confidence. But the world doesn't need another overpriced hair growth system. It needs an effective hair growth system that regular folks can afford. Now, this was tough, especially considering the pharmaceutical companies and poaching driving up the price of saw palmetto. Even with the farmer we found willing to keep the price low, we're still talking about huge ingredient costs, not to mention the huge expense of Zenith Labs' industry-leading quality control. But I was determined to keep the price low. And that was a struggle, let me tell you. The pencil pushers here at Zenith Labs pointed out that HairRevitalX is our most costly product to produce. After all, each 30-day supply comes with 1 bottle of the oral supplement and 1 bottle of the topical supplement. And with the scarcity of the key ingredient, the law of supply and demand says that the price should be high. The normal retail value for a 30-day supply of HairRevitalX would be $149. But I put my foot down and demanded a price that would make HairRevitalX available to as many people as possible. They agreed, with a catch. We could offer a discount as long as it was temporary, and as long as the biggest discount was only for the folks who claimed the 3 or 6 month options. So if you look below, you'll see that we're offering a sharp discount for the 1 month supply. That's 1 bottle of the oral supplement and 1 bottle of the topical spray-on supplement. But if you choose the 3-month supply, you'll get an even sharper discount. So far, this has been the most popular option. And then if you want the absolute most savings, go with the 6-month supply. That's when we're able to get the price per bottle down to the absolute best deal. We save on packaging and shipping costs the more bottles you order. So the more bottles you claim, the more you'll save. Not to mention, the longer you use HairRevitalX, the stronger the results you'll see. I want you to enjoy the best results possible, so you'll not only regain your own confidence, but also be excited to share the news with friends and family. And that's why it's so important to me that you claim as many bottles as you can, because that's how you'll see the best results. Now, what we've noticed is that people who choose the 1-month supply just want to dip their toes in the water and try it out. They want to see if there's anything to HairRevitalX. People who choose the 3-month supply really want to give their hair follicles the nourishment they need to switch back on your hair growth. They want to see the results in the mirror. They want to see their wife or husband be shocked and impressed at their hair. And they want to regain the respect of everyone they meet. No more thinking you're 20 years older than you are. And finally, people who choose the 6-month supply want to enjoy this new life for years to come. One more reason to claim a full 6-month supply today: our stockroom shelves frequently run dry. The farmer who supplies our saw palmetto is a small operation, so the amount of HairRevitalX we can manufacture each year is severely limited. Once we run out, we'll have to wait until the next harvest season to restock. So don't miss out. In fact, if you're serious about reversing your hair loss, I recommend you stock up now and click the biggest option below. Because once we run out, it could be up to a year before we can manufacture more. Now, I understand if you're being careful to choose the right amount for what you need. I've already shown you the dozens of medical studies that back up everything I've shared with you today. And you've heard from several of the tens of thousands of men and women who are already enjoying the effects of HairRevitalX. So let me share one more thing with you. The Zenith Labs 6-month open bottle 100% money-back guarantee. You should feel confident about any health decision. So here at Zenith Labs, we help you out with that. With any order, you get our guarantee. We're 100% confident that we offer the most powerful natural hair restoration product on the planet. That's why we give you 6 months to try it and decide. Either you're fully satisfied and head over heels thrilled with your new head of hair, or you can simply contact us via phone or email and we'll refund you 100% of your purchase price. The contact details will be on the packaging. Even if you've opened the bottles and used up all the product, we'll still refund you. It either works for you or you get your money back. It's that simple. We're confident in offering this industry-leading guarantee because we also lead the industry in delivering pure quality nutrition. Like all our products, we manufacture HairRevitalX in a good manufacturing practices facility that's been certified for sanitation and quality and that's regularly audited by the FDA for potency. In other words, while other supplement manufacturers may skirt regulations, even giving you watered-down or tainted saw palmetto to save money, Zenith Labs guarantees pure, hair-restoring saw palmetto because our quality control is even stricter than government regulations. We also make sure each source of ingredients is closely audited to guarantee each element of HairRevitalX is perfectly pure in order to revitalize your hair and your confidence when you walk out the door each morning. And then on top of all that, we individually test ingredients throughout production. Every step of the way, we're making sure that HairRevitalX contains exactly what it says on the label. We dip into our own profits to deliver a top-notch product. We may not make as much money today, but we know you'll be a member of the Zenith Labs family for life, and that's something you can be proud of. Men and women who join the Zenith Labs family are a special group who don't sit around and take what life throws at them. They don't put up with aches and ailments just because someone says it's part of getting older. And because they care about their health, members of the Zenith Labs family enjoy good health, freedom, and independence long into their golden years. I'd love for you to join us. And since you've stuck with me through this presentation, that shows me you're a perfect fit. It starts when you click below to claim your supply of HairRevitalX right now. Now, I want to be frank with you. Please don't be offended. I'm only saying this because I want to see you healthy, happy, and confident. But what's going to happen if you don't click below? If you don't claim your HairRevitalX? If you don't change anything? Your hair will keep thinning. Your hairline will keep receding. Your bald spot will keep growing until you're left completely bald or with patchy, stringy hair. Those occasional first impressions where people judge you for your hair will get more frequent, and they'll get worse. The people who look up to you, like your children or maybe your coworkers, will more and more see you as just another old person. They won't trust you to be a leader. Instead, they'll see you as someone they have to take care of. They won't mean anything rude by it. It's just the way our brains are programmed. If someone looks old enough, our brains see them as someone who needs special care. And our brains also judge attractiveness based on your hair. Your husband or wife might not even notice why, but they won't find you as attractive as they used to. Maybe they'll seem less interested in sex. Maybe they'll just feel like you're no longer the person they married. Or if you're single, I don't even have to tell you how difficult dating is when you're losing your hair. Now imagine if your hair gets even worse. Dating will become a nightmare. But what I'm really worried about is how you'll see yourself. We all know what matters is on the inside, but it's hard to remember that when how we look and feel on the outside is so powerful. If you keep letting your hair problem get worse, the self-doubt you feel now will grow. There's a reason hair loss is linked to blue moods and low energy. You feel worse about the world when you're unhappy with your body. I don't want you to end up sad, timid, and hating how you look. So please, take charge of your health and happiness. Click below to claim your HairRevitalX and start your journey. When you do, you'll be taking your first step toward a better life. I want you to picture that life right now. The hair on your head is thicker. Your hairline is coming back. Your bald spot is disappearing. When you meet new people, they don't think twice about your hair. They don't see you as old. Co-workers still respect you. Your children still come to you for advice. No one's acting like you need to be coddled or taken care of. And when you look in the mirror, you're happy with who you see, because who you see is still you. When you walk out the door each morning, you're happy and confident in how you look, and that confidence spreads into everything you do. That's why I'm asking you to try HairRevitalX, because that restored confidence will show in every aspect of your life, from the quality of your work to your relationship with your husband or wife, to how satisfied you are with life when you lie down at night. So one more time, I'll invite you to click an option below and claim your HairRevitalX right now. There's no risk to you, since you've got 6 full months to test it out for yourself and still get your money back. Remember, the people who've already watched this presentation and tried it for themselves, they're thrilled with their decision. Brian Marsh, age 72 from New Zealand, told me, "When I started losing my hair, I wasn't happy. I came across your article and thought I'd give it a try. It's been 3 months and my bald patch now has thick hair over it. My hair now needs trimming every 3 weeks. The best thing about HairRevitalX is it's working." Now I'll say it again, don't wait to try it for yourself, because remember, our supplies stay low since we depend on an honest farmer who's willing to go against the giant pharmaceutical companies. I recommend choosing the biggest amount to stock up. HairRevitalX is the only way to get the purest, most effective saw palmetto along with our unique ingredient blends. Click below to claim yours now and take the first step towards reclaiming your confidence. I'm Dr. Ryan Shelton, and I want to say thank you for sticking with me through this presentation. Now, if you're still here, that tells me 2 things. 1, you're committed to your health and happiness, and 2, you still have a few questions. It's perfectly okay to have questions. I'm glad you do, so I can help you feel perfectly comfortable trying our HairRevitalX for yourself. Here's the answers to a few of the most common questions we hear. How do I know HairRevitalX will work for me? While you have personal reasons that your DHT levels are imbalanced, whether that's genetics or something in your environment, the fact remains that the solution is to support balanced DHT levels. And that's exactly what HairRevitalX does. Remember, saw palmetto and the ingredients of the blends in both the oral and topical supplement are all backed by research from top universities. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people around the world already, and I've personally seen these ingredients help my patients and friends. And again, if for any reason you're not satisfied, or even for no reason at all, we offer a 6-month, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. How many bottles should I order? We recommend ordering the largest amount so you can stock up. Remember, our supplier of saw palmetto is a small farm, so it can be a long time before we can resupply. Ordering the largest amount is also the best deal for you. We've set it up so you can save more than 30% over the 1-bottle option. HairRevitalX has a 2-year shelf life, so there's no worries about it expiring. Plus, our no questions asked money-back guarantee is valid no matter how many bottles you order, so there's no risk in stocking up. Is HairRevitalX safe? I already shared with you all the safety standards that Zenith Labs sticks to when manufacturing HairRevitalX. That's to make sure that what you see on the label is exactly what's in the bottle, nothing more, nothing less. Each of the ingredients that goes into HairRevitalX is tested for purity and to ensure against toxins and contaminants. We also focus on using natural ingredients, which your body already knows how to use, and which gently, naturally support your body's natural hair growth systems. We still recommend that you talk to your doctor when starting any new health program, including taking HairRevitalX. Is HairRevitalX a replacement for any sort of medicine? No. While HairRevitalX supports your health in a variety of ways, it does not treat any disease and does not replace any medicines you might be taking. If your doctor currently has you on any treatment plan, don't stop that plan unless he tells you. Use HairRevitalX to support your hair growth, but always follow your doctor's advice on any health issue. Now, if you're still wondering whether HairRevitalX is right for you, then the best advice I can give you is to try it for yourself. With our no questions asked money-back guarantee, you have 6 months to see if you like it. If you decide you want your money back, simply contact us for a full refund. So you can try it out with 0 risk. You've got nothing to lose and only health and happiness to gain. 2 more customer stories before we go. Barbara Conboy, age 77 from Arizona, wrote me to say, "My health is fine, but my hair was thinning on top. I heard others rave about HairRevitalX, and while I was skeptical, I decided to try it. I'm glad I did. I can definitely see some new growth, and I'm thrilled. My hair is filling in nicely, and I will continue to use this." And James Raddard, age 66 from North Carolina, said, "I had lost quite a bit of hair, and I was depressed about my appearance. I had my doubts about HairRevitalX, but I was impressed with Dr. Ryan's explanation of what it could do. Now, the back of my scalp has hair growth, which is filling in the bald areas. The top of my head also shows hair growth. Obviously, this is not a quick fix, but a gradual process of hair regrowth. I am confident that this product works." If you're ready to start your own hair growth results like James and Barbara, click an option below and let's take the first step towards restoring your hair and reclaiming your confidence.
Cool, right? Click the link in the description for my price discounted special.